uwager.lv, sportsbook, and casino. Sign up today at uwager.lv, the premier online sportsbook, taking wagers since 1998. The most player-friendly lines, weekly juice specials, and a true dime line in MLB. Unique casino platforms with thousands of games. Play poker, high stakes, low stakes, or tournament play. uwager.lv, what we offer. Free same-day payouts. Customer service and wagering support, 24/7, year-round. Free monthly rebates on your action and daily casino rebates. Contests, free bets, best bonuses, and giveaways. Generous referral program. Get an 80% free play bonus on your first deposit, up to $1,000. Sign up today, and use promo code SPORTSWEB. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
This guy sucks.
Anyway, this is what I like. Tennessee's at Jacksonville. It's a 6.5-point favorite. Look, guys, Tennessee's playing. They're not really playing the greatest football, but these two teams generally play very, very tight. I do like the 40 points in this game. I think there's a good position playing under. I think Jacksonville is this year's Cincinnati Bengals. How about that? Okay,
Whoa.
worst to first.
Wow.
Okay, do I think they're going to the Super Bowl? Who knows? I think they win the game, but Tennessee covers the 6.5. Gentlemen, let's talk about tomorrow's game. We got the playoff implications. The Tennessee Titans are in Jacksonville. And ladies and gentlemen, can you believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars are a 6.5-point favorite in this game? I mean, we understand why. They're playing their fifth-string quarterback who was bagging groceries a couple of weeks ago. Yeah! And the total is 40 points. Andrew.
What's he on the Lions practice squad?
What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I definitely think that the Jaguars are the overwhelming favorite just because of what you mentioned there, the quarterback situation. You got a guy that was literally on the practice squad for the Lions a couple weeks ago, now starting in the most important game of the Titans season. And that's not who you want behind center, obviously, but they got no other choice. Jacksonville's been really they've been wild the last couple of weeks here. They've been really taking a different image to the team overall. And as a Giant fan, I'm just glad we paid them early this season, not later in the season. So I got Jacksonville to win this, cover the spread. And I do think it's going to be a pretty decent scoring game for them as well, because I think, to be honest, the Titans are just going to be just trampled over.
Cool. Peter?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Trevor Lawrence threw for 4 touchdowns earlier on in the season. I expect the same here with this Titans defense. It's very inconsistent. Titans team overall is inconsistent, and they've definitely been hurt by injuries. How about this story, guys? In 2022, the Jacksonville Jaguars go from the worst team, one of the worst teams in the league, to a playoff team. I'm betting Jacksonville. Playoffs! I'm betting on Jacksonville to win outright here over the Tennessee Titans.
It's almost like Urban Meyer was a bad coach.
Oh, you think?
Oh, no, it's almost like that.
You think?
And I'll tell you what I like.
Urban Meyer. Here's what Urban Meyer stands for. There you go. Urban Meyer.
No. Lap dance music, maybe.
Wait, did you say lap dance music?
Peter wants to Daphne on him. Daphne to the stage, please. Daphne to the stage.
Anyway, I'm getting ready to mute both their microphones.
This guy sucks.
Tennessee's at Jacksonville. Jacksonville 6.5-point favorites in this game. Now listen. I can't even finish my thought.
Well, that's it. Bucs season is over as they lose to the Dallas Cowboys 31-14. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Here's something to think about. This team came into the playoffs at 8-9. You would think that they would have a better effort. We talked about it at halftime. A better effort. But what does this team do? What's the identity of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2022? Outcoached? You think? How many wide receivers were open tonight? How many busted coverages did this defense give up? How many? We're in week 19. This is not week 1. This is not week 5. You're not missing key parts in that back end. This is week 19. How many wide open wide receivers and tight ends tonight? Dalton Schultz looking like Rob Gronkowski or Travis Kelce against this defense because they have no answers. Identity right there. There you go. Outcoached. How about the offense? They get the ball the second half. What do? 3 straight passes. Here's a statistic for you that'll work out for you. Well, Buccaneers tonight. 66 times Tom Brady threw the ball. I get it. You're down in the game, but you ran the ball 12 times? 12? 12-66. You wonder why you lost the game. Identity. This team cannot run the ball. Haven't been able to run the ball since the first week. Hats off to the Dallas Cowboys. That defense was ready tonight. They got after Tom Brady. Identity. Offensive line stinks. Luke Gedeke on the left side, not going to get it done. Ryan Jensen returning, doesn't matter. This offensive line is not good. Tom Brady was not good. Mike Evans, at the end of the game, have an opportunity to get a touchdown, to get it down to 10 points. Guess what he does? Identity. Drops the ball. This is what this team has done all year long. Whether it's penalties, miscommunication, which you might as well not have any communication. Week 19, and you still have a defense giving up big plays. Make it make sense. And this supposedly is a gravedigger defense. Well, they dug themselves a hole tonight. And again, I'm not going to put this all on the defense. I'm not. But those first 2 drives, no answer. This is also on coaching. Identity. What's going to happen? Is Todd Bowles going to be fired? Recent reports would suggest he's going to come back. But after this effort tonight, how could you do it? I'm not one for firing a coach after the first year, but identity. This team is never prepared to play. Ever. Alex, hold off. If this is the last pass for Tom Brady, thanks for the Super Bowl 55. I think this team needs to move on. I think there's going to be wholesale changes, and I think it may start with coaching. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Evolution. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Antonio from Amarillo, Texas.
Go for it. What do you have to say? Bucs lose 31-14.
Man, Peter, it was brutal. I didn't expect it to be this bad. In my opinion, Tom Brady should hang up those cleats, man.
I mean, look at the statistics. 35 for 66, 351, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, but he missed throws tonight. He wasn't great. You know, red zone interception is first in his career. I get it. Those numbers are misleading because this team the whole night could not develop anything consistently. Another identity trait for this team. The identity of the 2022 Tampa Bay Buccaneers is They don't have any consistency when it comes to this offense, ever.
Do you know what I call that?
Coaching.
Fatherhood is catching up to Tom Brady.
That
Fatherhood.
I mean, there's so many things. Offensive line, play calling. I mean, how many freaking times can you run the ball on first down? I mean, I get it. You ran the ball 12 times tonight, and the majority of the time, they're on first down.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, but like I said, at least I got a Super Bowl of Tom Brady. At least one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's time to, Tom Brady, it's time to call it a career, man. You're done. It's not the same.
I mean, if you're going to look, if he's going to call it a career, like I said, thanks for the Super Bowl 55. Thanks for the years, the playoffs. But this guy's not getting it done for this team. And whether it's him or the team or the coach failing him, if you get the guy, he's the greatest of all time, but he's definitely lost something. Maybe his head's not all there. I understand it. That's an excuse. At the end of the day, this team is out. The season is over with, and now they're going to have to make some decisions. Whether Tom Brady's going to go to the Dolphins, the Raiders, the Titans, the Jets, you're going to have an offensive line around him because this offensive line stinks.
There's no way he's going anywhere else. He's done. He is done. That red zone interception, that was terrible. Who the fuck was out there? Was that Andy Dalton out there? That wasn't Tom Brady at all, man.
First red zone interception that he's thrown in his career for the Bucs. It's terrible. It's terrible.
That was bad. That was terrible.
It set the tone for the night. And again, identity of the team. People say this team doesn't have an identity. Yes, they do. They're an 8-9 football team. In fact, they're an 8-10 football team that won a pathetic division. I get it. They won the NFC South, but the effort is not there. And for a season starting over, you would think that you would have something better than what you put out there tonight. This is a completely embarrassing effort. I feel bad for all the Bucs fans that spent their hard-earned money to watch that nonsense.
I'm sorry, guys. Coming from a guy out of Texas, that was pretty bad to watch.
All right, man. Appreciate the call.
Yeah, good night.
Yep. Let me go out to Curtis. Curtis, welcome to the Evolution after your Bucs fall. End of the season. Your thoughts?
This game was over in the first quarter.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, after the first two drives, you had no. Yes.
No. Listen to me. I know we don't run the ball, but you have the ball first and goal on the 2-yard line. Where's the attempt to run the ball? Why do you drop back and throw the ball every damn down instead of attempting to run the ball on first and goal on the 2-yard line? Every time we got within 5 yards of the end zone, why did we just drop back and throw the ball?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm trying to figure out all year long what this coach is trying to do. We do know that they're going to run on first down. There's no consistency. There's nothing. There's no identity. The only identity is that they're inconsistent on offense, and they're disappointing.
As long as we've been watching football, the one thing that any defensive coach tries to do is run the ball.
Yep.
Listen, let me tell you something. Even when Bruce Arians was the head coach, even when we couldn't run the ball, he still would attempt to run the freaking ball.
Of course. That's how they won their Super Bowl. Lombardi Lenny for over 300 yards of rushing. It's a commitment to it. And you look at the differences tonight with the Cowboys. Look at the statistics. Dak Prescott, 25 for 33, 305, 4 touchdowns. 33 times they passed the ball. Oh, yeah, guess what? 15, 13, 7. They ran the ball more than they passed the ball. Do you see there's a correlation there?
Absolutely. But here's another thing. Do we see the value of Shaq Barrett now?
Well, definitely. I mean, Anthony Nelson, no impact at all. The line tonight didn't get in. I mean, congrats to the Dallas offensive line for doing everything they could to shut down this defensive line who had only 1 sack and no pressure in the game, barely.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that our strongest push is up the middle. They knew if they could stop the middle, Anthony Nelson and Joe Tryon attacked nothing.
You're definitely missing Shaq Barrett. You're absolutely missing Shaq Barrett, and maybe you're missing JPP. I understand why they moved on from JPP to give JTS the opportunity, but he isn't it. He wasn't it tonight. He needs to improve. And the Bucs need to address this position possibly in the offseason, either in free agency or in the draft.
There's a couple of things that need to be addressed.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that.
Needs to be addressed. And I'm going to tell you something. After Brady threw that interception in the red zone, that first interception, you could tell the life was sucked out of this team. The confidence was sucked out of this team.
Yeah, because you go, 70 yards and you get nothing. You get 14 plays, 70 yards, and you throw a red zone interception. And I get it. You're under pressure, but you have to make a better decision than that. And it looked like he was trying to throw the ball away. And again, don't misconstrue this. Is this all on Tom Brady? No, it's not. But
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not. This is a team loss.
Correct.
This is bad coaching. Because
there's a lot of bad tonight. A lot of bad tonight with this team.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Yes.
How much zone did we play all year?
I don't remember playing a lot of zone. I mean, I didn't see a lot of blitzes at all. I didn't see anybody getting home.
How much cover 2 did we play all year?
I didn't see a lot of cover 2 this year.
So why the hell are we playing in this game?
I have no idea.
Makes no sense.
No idea. I don't know where Jamel Dean is. I guess he didn't play in the game. He was ill. Sean Murphy-Bunting was not good tonight. Carlton Davis was not good. The back end was not good. And again, there were so many breakdowns in that defense tonight. It's inexcusable. It's inexcusable.
Yep. And the thing about it is, listen, you know what? After the season we had, we were even lucky to get in the playoffs. Seriously.
Yeah.
Number 2. They need to take a good hard look at themselves. There was no impact on defense at all.
None.
There's none.
No turnovers in this game at all for a team that was turning over the ball. But again, hats off to Dak Prescott, who played his ass off. After the first 2 drives, they made adjustments, and they got no pressure on him, and he picked them apart.
And listen, let me tell you something. They were the better team tonight.
They were. They deserve to win. Absolutely. Agree with you on that, Curtis.
You know what? I will say this. We could have just gave up. I didn't even expect to score 14 points. I really didn't.
Well, the thing is for me, that's the most frustrating. Good stuff, Curtis, as always, is that it takes this team so long to have that urgency. You're down 24-0, and then you finally go down the field. And whether it's the defense, whatever it is, great for Julio Jones, 30-yard pass, great for Tom Brady. But why does it take this freaking team so long to get it in gear? That is coaching at the end of the day.
And not only that, it seems like our players are running the same routes over and over.
Yep.
And not only are they running the same routes over and over, Mike Evans looked confused. When the hell has Mike Evans ever looked confused?
Well, I mean, he looked confused all year long. They didn't look like they had any chemistry between Brady and Evans. And then on top of it, the drops by Mike Evans, just crucial drops down the stretch. And tonight, you have an opportunity to get back in the game. There's no chance you're going to win this game, but at least you give yourself the opportunity if you catch that deep pass, which last year you saw Mike Evans do that against the Rams to get you back in the game. And it's just so what this team is this year with their identity, dropping big plays, dropping big passes, and Evans has been the culprit of it.
I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to just go straight out of it. I don't think they have any faith in Todd Bowles.
Well, yeah, again, the report was out there from Tampa Bay Times' Rick Stroud that they're going to keep him, but I don't know how the Glazers don't look at this and say this was embarrassing on national television on Monday night with the playoffs and everything on the line with Tom Brady and all the resources that this ownership has provided and put into it. I don't know how you think about it and say maybe this is not the coach. And I like Todd Bowles, don't get me wrong. I like him as a person, but I'm not sure if he's a head coach in the National Football League. I'm just not.
He's not a head coach. He's a great defensive coach.
Defensive coordinator, and you can't even say he's a great defensive coordinator because the way the defense played tonight, whether the offense helped you or not, you've got to get stops, and you can't continue to have breakdowns like you had in the secondary. Curtis, give me some final thoughts, and I got to run.
Let me tell you something. the thing about it is I feel like as much as a great player Tom Brady is, and he's all this, there's some breakdowns in this locker room that we're not missing. And I'm going to tell you something. Eventually, it's going to come out. I mean, did you see? Not to change the subject, did you see the tweet from J.K. Dobbins from the Ravens?
Yes.
About how there's something going on in that Ravens locker room.
Well, there's something going on with the Ravens locker room. You know what it is? It's Lamar Jackson and the uncertainty. And there may be the same thing that's going on in this locker room with Tom Brady not being fully committed to go and play for this team next year or be retired or all the distractions. Who knows what's going on in this locker room? It could be play calling. There's several things that are going on with this team. But right now, they're done. And they should be done because they play like they're done tonight.
Well, like I said, they don't believe. I don't think they believe in Todd Bowles. And I mean, dude, this defense hasn't looked this bad since Mike Smith looked in.
Yeah, well, that's what exactly looked like. It looked like Mike Smith coached defense, and that means 10 to 15 yards off the ball, guys blowing coverages, guys wide open. I mean, how many times did the announcer say Dalton Schultz wide open, CeeDee Lamb wide open? It can't happen.
I'm gonna probably call back. I'm gonna call back so I can let other people call in.
Yep.
That Prescott looked like the MVP of the freaking league today.
Well, that's what happens when you give him more than 3 seconds time to throw the ball. Absolutely. Good stuff, Curtis.
That's another thing. No pressure.
Yep. No pressure. Again, apply the pressure or feel the pressure. Good stuff, Curtis. Thanks a lot for the call. Let me go ahead and read these comments. Give that second call, all right? Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Alex, I know you were trying to call. Call back if you like to. 727-409-7528. Again, it's 727-409-7528. I put the link out there if you want to come on video. I know there's a lot of emotional Bucs fans out there that are disappointed. You should be. Because this was an embarrassing effort. And we've seen it time and time again. Down 24-0. And then the wheels start clicking. And you start completing passes. Why? Is it because of the urgency of the offense? Maybe. Is it because of the defense giving you those looks? Why does it take so long for this offense to get in gear? That would be my question for the night. Is that Byron Leftwich? Is that Todd Bowles? You have to say it is, don't you? I mean, we could sit here all day long and say it's execution. But if you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, you know what we call that, ladies and gentlemen? Insanity. Let's go out to the comments here. SDS 4800. Can we please fire Bowles and Leftwich? If the entire season wasn't evidence enough, they are incompetent coaches. This playoff game is get rid of them. Good comments.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Who knows what they're going to do at this point? There's going to be changes. Right? I mean, it was like a David Bowie night. Change. This is what's going to be in the offseason. And then Tom Brady under pressure. I know, I'm aging myself. Google it. Look it up. You can apply both of those songs to this game tonight because Tom Brady was under pressure all night long. You can't win games throwing the ball 60 freaking times and not running the ball and not being balanced. We talked about it. With this team, it would come back to haunt them. It did. Look at the balance with the Dallas Cowboys. Look at what they did for Dak Prescott tonight when he struggled those first two series. Look at what they did. That's a team that deserves to be in the playoffs. That's a team that's going to be very dangerous next Sunday versus the San Francisco 49ers. Hate to say it, but if they're balanced and their defense is getting after it, Micah Parsons all over the place tonight. We knew that was a tough matchup coming in. We knew that the Cowboys had a defense that could get after it. And they did. And it didn't matter if Ryan Jensen was back or not. So there has to be some changes. And we'll have to see what the Bucs do in this upcoming postseason. Rick says Tampa Bay Buccaneers took a hard Dana White slap, knocked them to 2024 New Year's Eve.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Pretty much. Michael says prayers to Gage and family at this time. Concerning situation with Russell Gage going down. You never like to see that at the end of the game. So who knows what happened there? Looks like an injury. He suffered an injury with the back last week. Got hit again, couldn't get up. Scary situation. So hopefully he's okay. But that kid has been hurt all year long. But, to his credit, he's fought his ass off. You like to see more effort than 24-0 down, though. Tim goes, so much for the 88% rule. Yeah, goes out the door. You get down 24-0, you have the 18-0 in halftime. You have a kicker that's missing extra points, giving you an opportunity. And this is not on the refs, but the refs didn't do a good job tonight, as always. Consistency, identity. Troy says, Bucs suck. So do you.
This guy sucks.
You're back. I am. Why are you even here? I'm here for you. I'm here to hear your complaints. I'm here to complain to you. I'm here to talk about it. If you want to talk about it, do it. If you want to text in, do it. If you want a video in, do it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. New number here in case you can't get in is 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Thank God Mama didn't raise me a Bucs fan. And yet you still tune in to this show. So what's that make you?
That's good enough to suck right there.
All right, welcome to the Sports Web. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Peter, it's Jeff from Temple Terrace, brother.
What's going on, Jeff? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Would have been a little better if we showed some fight tonight. But
all right, we got some breaking news here right now. I want to share this with you. According to Scott Reynolds' Pewter report, the Bucs are firing Byron Leftwich. So there you go. That's the breaking news coming in. We'll see what other changes are going to happen. That has been rumored for a long time ago. We have talked to J.C. Allen, who has kind of mentioned this, that Todd Bowles, Leftwich wasn't a part of his staff. There was a report over the weekend just coming out from Sports Illustrated that Mike Tomlin was looking to fire his offensive coordinator and hire Byron Leftwich. So according to Scott Reynolds' Pewter report, Byron Leftwich is supposed to be fired. As we get some confirmation on that. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, no, I just saw that as well. So we'll see, man. It sounds like they're keeping Bowles. I read that article. It sounds like Bowles is staying, Leftwich is going. I don't know, man. The only thing that I was thinking might come out of a disaster of a game like tonight is that both of them are gone. And I've talked about in the past, I think they're probably pretty cool dudes as it is. But, I kept waiting every week of this season for something to change and something to wake up. And you only really saw it maybe 1 or 2 weeks out of the whole year.
That's it.
And so I don't know if you can't wake up and get it going with the greatest of all time on your side. I don't know how you're supposed to, try to attempt to.
Does that give you any confidence? Again, I like Todd Bowles. This wasn't his coaching staff. It was a succession plan by BA, but he didn't get a chance to hire his own staff. Are you confident going into next year, no matter what quarterback you have with Todd Bowles? Because I got to tell you right now, the way this team is prepared before games, I'm not. And you continue to see defensive breakdowns.
Exactly. That's the key, man. That's exactly what it is. Everybody has a role, but the head coach has to get the whole team ready to play, And I know that Bowles has more of his focus on the defense. I get that, but you have to have your team ready to play. This team hasn't been ready to play all year. And so I don't see how you can just overlook and say, oh, it's just because we can't score on offense. It's like, no, the team has not been ready to play. Special teams has been crap this year. Everything's even weird stuff this year has gone wrong. It's like he's messing up a fake punt. It's like the one play a year you run a fake punt, you got to be able to execute it and not.
And nobody knows why you're running a fake punt instead of you being aggressive, which you haven't been all year long, and you can't even get that right. And then when you ask the guy that's a part of it, well, I don't know if it was a fake punt or not. What do you mean you don't know if it's a fake punt or not? You're the guy that's supposed to be getting the ball.
Exactly. And that's all. That's coaching, man. I don't get it. And tonight, even the defense showed that, like, it was the biggest game of the year. Obviously, win or go home, and they're falling all over themselves, not knowing who they're supposed to cover. Come on, man.
It looks like a Chinese freaking fire drill out there. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. Everybody's running around with a chicken with their head cut off. Nobody knows what's going on. How is that possible, Jeff, at week 19? I don't have the confidence in this coaching staff. I'm sorry. You got to do more than fire Byron Leftwich. You got to make some improvements. You got to make some changes. You got to make some heads roll here, because all the talent and all the resources that the Glazers put in was an 8-10 football team.
Exactly right. Exactly right, man. I'm with you. I'm with you 100% on that.
All right.
So the last thing I'd want to get your take on is, don't get me wrong. I've been super happy that Brady's made us relevant again. He got us a Super Bowl, got us back on the map. But man, the guy, he will not get touched at this point. You know what I mean? In terms of, like, he throws the ball into the dirt, and I get it. He's
right.
45.
He doesn't want to get hit. He's 45, 46 years old. He's gotten hit in his career, but that can't win in this league anymore.
Exactly. You can't do that. That's what I'm saying.
You can't do that. And I don't know if the Bucs are going to go forward. Again, I love Tom Brady. I love what he brought to this Tampa Bay team, but this offensive line isn't it. If they're going to bring him back, they got to bring back a better offensive line. They got to retool it. If they're going to bring him back, I don't know if they're going to. They may go younger. They may go with Kyle Trask. They may go with Blaine Gabbert. They may go with Derek Carr. I think everything at this point is on the table, because it's what we talked about. Even though you win the NFC South, there is a sick feeling that you feel like, you know what, this team underachieved with all the talent they supposedly have. How can you score 17 to 18 points a game with the likes of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Julio Jones and Gage and Leonard Fournette and Rashard White and Cade Otton, and you have Tom Brady, and you can't put consistent drives together?
Yeah. It's crazy. And it's the same. It was the same every week, man. Same play calling, same everything. So it's tough. I think it's a little raw right now, but just by watching the game tonight, I'm like, man, obviously I think the coaches need to go, but I think it might be time, for Brady, to decide to do something else. It'd be nice to have somebody that has some semblance of mobility whatsoever.
You look around the AFC. Am I lying about this? I get it. You don't have the experience, but you have Patrick Mahomes. You have Joshua Allen. I want to say JC Allen. You have Joe Burrow. You have young guys there. And I get it. The Bucs have never been able to develop a quarterback, and who knows where you pick. Who knows what they're going to do, but that's where the NFL is going. Is Lamar Jackson on the table? He may be. Are the Bucs interested? Do they have the money? Can they clean up the cap situation? Don't give me the nonsense that the Bucs can't do anything about the cap situation, because we've been talking about the last freaking 5 years how the Saints are in cap hell, and every year it seems like they make an impact not only on their team through free agency and the draft, they're able to sign all their picks and able to make it happen. The Bucs can do the same thing if they want to.
That's right, man. That's right. Yeah. I'll throw this one last thing out there. I think we take a good hard look at Derek Carr.
Why not?
Yeah, I think he's still got some juice left in the tank. It wasn't his year this year, but he's shown he can be at least efficient. And I think if we clean up some defensive stuff, we get the O-line settled in, and we have somebody that can have some mobility and be efficient, we still have a shot. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe they go with Trask, but tough season, man. Not what I was expecting, especially with Brady coming back.
Definitely. Hey. Not me. Unfinished business, man. Unfinished business, which means Super Bowl or bust. Yeah, right. NFC South, yeah, you're satisfied. You're happy. Okay, I'm not taking it for granted. And people out there say, well, you should be happy that you have a division in your playoffs. Okay, I'm happy, but with all the talent and resources, you should be a lot better than what you are. Yep. And you're not. Yep. So, and that's dysfunction, whether that's coaching, execution, which, go back in the annals of time here, I'm in favor of it, because there was no execution tonight by this offense or this defense. In fact, it was offensive. Rest in peace, John McKay.
Yeah, man, really bad. So we'll see. You know, I just I thought for some reason we might be able to flip a switch, but it was just same old. You know, same old today.
You can't always be like that, and I get it. Yeah. Bucs fans were used to it. We were all used to this. The whole idea that Brady's going to save the day, and you can play like that, but you can't flick the switch when you're down 24-0. You can't get down 18-0 at halftime and continue to come back. And again, is it all on the offense? No, it's on the defense because they're not able to get pressure on the quarterback. They're blowing coverages. They're not able to make tackles. Where's your defensive leaders like a Levante David and a Devin White and a Carlton Davis who you spent all the money on and a Sean Murphy Bunting? Where are these people at? Where are these players at that you're paying all this money to step up and make plays and they're not making any plays? The Cowboys are coming into this game with a quarterback that had 7 consecutive games of an interception thrown, and you can't get one tonight? You can't cause any turnovers at all? Inexcusable.
Yeah.
Inexcusable. You're not a top defense. You're not.
No, I don't even know if what did we sack him at all tonight? I don't even know if we got a sack on it.
Yeah, one sack. That was Vita Vea. I think the whole night. And that's what it seemed like.
And Devin White's been quiet this whole year, man. I mean, he played with his head on fire back in 2020 when we won the Super Bowl. He just took off. But honestly, man, I don't know. Since then, I haven't seen a ton from him. He talks a lot, and I think he's a good player. But
well, as far as covering tight ends and coverage, or these linebackers are not good. And who knows what the future on that is? Levante David's up there. If he's going to be back here, we don't know. We don't know what this Bucs team is going to look like in 2023. And I hate that we're talking about this on January 17th. I hate that we're talking about it because we expected more out there. I know Bucs fans expected more when Tom Brady's coming back, and it's not happening this year. It's over with in the first round. Great stuff, Jeff. Let me go ahead and give you, I don't know what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you an air horn. Appreciate you, buddy. All right?
Yep. Keep up the good work, man. We'll see you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I mean, it's frustration. You can hear it in my voice. I'm not faking the funk. You know I'm not. I've been here. I'm here with you on wins. I'm here with you on losses. We do this together on the sports web. We talk about it. We converse about it. We yell. We scream. We get upset. We put it in perspective. But at the end of the night, this team is done. There's no more season. Now you're looking to the offseason. Now the rumors are going to start to swirl. Is Tom Brady going to be back? I'm not sure. Should he be back? I'm not sure. Not the way this team is constructed right now. You want to see this again? Do you think an offensive play caller will make a difference? Not with the way they did it tonight. 66 throws and 12 runs. Going to get it done. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Nope, raised you as an arrogant Steelers fan. Which, by the way, you're not in the playoffs this year. So what's your excuse there, Troy? No, you're just a troll. Acknowledge me, I told you, bye-bye, Brady.
Acknowledge me.
Okay, you get acknowledged. Are you happy about yourself? Are you done patting yourself on the back? I mean, you happy about trolling all the time? I mean, I guess that's a question out there. What do the Bucs do next? Recent report that's come out from Scott Reynolds of the Pewter Report is that the Bucs are expected to fire Byron Leftwich. Is that going to get it done? Is Bill O'Brien the next offensive coordinator of this team? Is that what's going to turn this around? Is it all on Byron Leftwich, or are there more changes to come? Let's go out to Curtis using his second call. Curtis, welcome back to the Evolution.
Listen, I'm going to say this very quick because I want people to understand.
Mm-hmm.
We still won a Super Bowl.
We did. Absolutely. You won a Super Bowl. You feel good about that. It was a great moment, but at the end of the day, you got to turn the page, and it goes back to the Janet Jackson song there, kids. If you don't know, Google that. What have you done for me lately? And this team has not done anything. They've got to the playoffs and they're done.
I'm going to say this. I think the whole Bruce Arians leaving thing, I was nervous about that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I really was. Because I'm going to tell you this. If you go back and you look at Todd Bowles with the Jets, he inherited a team that was already a halfway decent. And every year he was there, that team got worse.
Right.
And worse.
Right.
And worse.
Right.
And worse.
Mm-hmm.
Byron Leftwich, I've been looking at, if you go back, if you look at Byron Leftwich's play calling or the plays that they run, very mediocre plays.
Correct.
Very mediocre.
I mean, how many times can you run on first down? How many times can you run up the middle on first down? How many times can you throw the screen pass? And I get it. This is Brady's play, bread and butter play. You want to throw that. This is like the running game, but teams are going to catch up on it. I mean, how many games have been costed this year because of clock management? How many times do you not go for fourth down? How many coverage breakdowns? So you're supposed to be a defensive-minded coach, and you're still having breakdowns and miscommunication. We're hearing the same thing over and over again. We're not executing. Who does this fall on? Yes, it's easy to say it falls on players, but at the end of the day, who's the captain of the ship? The coaches.
Yep. And here's the other thing. Football evolves.
It does.
If you look at all the quarterbacks in the NFL now, they can move. They're athletic enough to get out of the pocket, to get out of harm's way.
Yep.
And, you know, as much as we love Brady, as much as a lot of people love Brady, he's a statue that year.
He is.
And guess what? You want him to throw the ball away because guess what? If he is hit and he fumbles, there's 7 points.
Yep.
Like, come on, man. For real.
Disappointing. Very, very, very disappointing when it comes to this team.
Yep.
All year long.
And it's I don't know what to say. I don't.
I mean, I don't know what you can say at this point. I mean, we've kind of gone through this all year long, have we not? I mean, it's like Groundhog Day all over again. Can this team get off to a good start? No, they cannot get off to a good start. Why? Because they go 3 and out. Why? Because they run the ball on first down and get 2 yards in a cloud of dust.
And the crazy thing is, we probably scored more points in the fourth quarter than any team in the NFL.
Why? Because you're down by 14 to 21 points, and then all of a sudden, hey, we got to turn it on. Hey, we got to have some urgency. Why does it take so long for this team? How could a team, and I get it, the offensive line. Oh, my God, I've heard it all year long, the offensive line. But there's got to be more to it than that, right? I mean, you go from a team that's scoring 30 to 35 points a game to something that's 17 and 18, and you can't be more creative than what you are?
I'm going to tell you what this reminds me of. This loss reminds me of, I think it was Gruden's, one of Gruden's last years. We made the playoffs.
It was probably the one against the Raiders, where they're 9-3 and they lose 4 in a row, and John Gruden gets fired. That's probably what it was. And the last scene you see is Derek Brooks blowing out his hamstring after the running back runs right past him. He misses the tackle, and the Raiders win. And after 9-3, Imani Kiffin leaves as a defensive coordinator and goes with his son, Lane Kiffin, to Tennessee. That team folded. That's what you're thinking of?
Well, that's a great example. Absolutely. And the one I was thinking about is we made it to the playoffs, and the Redskins destroyed us in the playoffs.
Well, it wasn't. Look, that year the Bucs did beat the Washington team, the Redskins, at the time. And it was a close battle, and I think it was like 17-10, and they won the division that year, and they absolutely got throttled, and it was a close game, but Sims wasn't able to make a play. I remember it. I remember them all. I remember when Monty Kiffin announced the day before the Carolina game on Monday Night Football, and the Panthers ran for over 300 yards.
Yep.
So there's been a lot of Bucs bad football, and I'm not saying this is the worst, but the expectations were there, were they not? I mean, I know I'm not in the twilight zone when Tom Brady, after 40 days, announced that he was coming back and there was unfinished business. This is not what you envisioned.
No, but I'm going to tell you something. Since he's come back, everything around this team has pretty much been a soap opera.
Yep, and it's been not only it's been on the outside, on the inside. It's definitely not helped the situation of this team. That's for sure.
We are watching SmackDown and Monday Night Raw.
Pretty much been a soap opera all year long. As the world turns, days of our lives, and the young and the useless.
And here's the thing. Now, the biggest question is, Jason Light, what are you going to do?
Well, we shall see. We shall see what Jason Light's going to do, and we shall see what the Glazers are going to do, because we know that Jason Light does have some control, but at the end of the day, the Glazers do own this team, and sometimes they will interject in these decisions. So, again, that report came out a couple of days ago, but this embarrassment, I don't know who's going to lose their job and who's not.
I'm afraid they might blow this team up.
Well, that's certainly possible. We've seen it before, and we may see it again, and hopefully it's not this year, but we'll cover it here on the Sports Web, my friend. Thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you, buddy. All right?
Yep.
All right, man. I think that's how a lot of Bucs fans are feeling right now. Like, maybe this is the last time you see in the playoffs. I'm an eternal optimist. But there's nothing to be optimistic about this performance tonight. There's nothing. You scored a touchdown late. You made it somewhat close. Okay. That's about it. Okay, let's see here. Justin says, I know it's not likely, but wish we could go ahead and realize that Bowles needs to go, as well as Leftwich. Again, the report that's coming out there from Scott Reynolds, a Pewter report, and this is about 25 minutes ago, Byron Leftwich is expected to be fired. Now what happens? Now who's the quarterback? How many players are off this team? How many changes are going to be made? Will the Glazers interject? Are they going to keep Bowles? Are you going to fire Bowles? What should the Bucs do? That's my question for you tonight. Troy Polamalu, Russell Gage was wasting time. Get off the field. Dude, I mean, that's completely and totally insensitive.
This guy sucks.
Let's see. Roger Shue, there's always next year, Pete. New quarterback trash will be good for you all. Roger, let's see what your Bears do next year, okay? Hit the like button. Thank you. Justin, love that the deep quarters on second and third and short from Bowles. Dustin says embarrassing all around. I mean, that's it. It's embarrassing. I mean, do you see, this would be a lot better effort. Shouldn't it be a lot better than this? Isn't this a wild card game? Am I confused here? Is this just a regular Monday Night Football game, or was this for the opportunity to face the San Francisco 49ers? I mean, and really, with this type of effort, do you think you were going to go anywhere and beat the 49ers? I mean, I kind of told you that when they lost 35-7, that this team most likely wasn't going anywhere. But you feel good about having a new season, changing things up. You get some momentum after you beat the Carolina Panthers. After you have a strong first half versus the Atlanta Falcons, you start to feel good about this team. And once again, this team shows you who they are. They're an undisciplined football team that's not able to make the critical plays at the critical times. They're an undisciplined football team that has a player that's been the most penalized that's cost them plays this year. They're an undisciplined football team because they're not able to consistently tackle, but is it the fault of the defense all the time? Most likely not, because the offense is consistently in 3 and outs. And this offense has no identity at all besides throwing the ball 66 times and thinking that's going to beat somebody. With not having balance. I don't care how many quarterbacks are out there doing what they do. You have to run the ball if you want to play playoff football. You have to. Football 101. You have to run the ball. You have to be balanced. I don't even have to play football to know that. And this team continues to struggle over and over and over again with this. They were able to do it and harness it in the 2020 year, which is why they won the Super Bowl. Last year, they get down 27-3, and they come charging back. And then their defense is able to give up a big play. like they always do. Like a Todd Bowles defense has done the last couple of years. Tonight was worse. Embarrassing all around. Absolutely. Africa, absolutely atrocious crap. Good night, Bucs. Tim, on to next year. Justin, just handing them the first downs. Absolutely. Complete and total domination by the Dallas Cowboys. 425 total yards. 297 passing by Dak Prescott. 4 touchdowns. Tying Troy Aikman, which, by the way, the Cowboys haven't won a playoff game on the road since Troy Aikman was the starting quarterback in 1992. Guess what? This Bucs defense is the cure-all for that. All right, let's go out to Alex. Alex, welcome to the Evolution.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
Not too happy, huh?
No, it's not. It's tough. It's tough times to watch this team because
Listen,
we continue to say it over and over again.
We went into this game, and I thought, you know what, everybody being healthy and coming to this game that we were going to do X, Y, and Z. We were going to be successful. Unfortunately, we did the complete opposite, didn't we?
They did. They did exactly the same thing they've done all year long.
I'm actually a little shocked, but I'll tell you one thing, that turning point of this entire game was 2 things. Number one, this tells you just how bad our coaching has been all year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I'm not going to sit here and say who made that call on that. We're on the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal, and Tom Brady's throwing the ball.
Yep.
Why are you not handing the ball to Fournette, one of your power offensive, Fournette. Why are we throwing the ball on 4th down? Why is Tom Brady set in a passing play? Why are we even thinking about passing?
No confidence, no consistency.
You should have handed the ball to Fournette.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like I've told you so many times this year, you have talked about, the Bucs play what? On that one mistake. That was their turning point. That interception was that turning point.
14-point swing. I mean, you talked about the other day, Seattle and San Francisco. Seattle was playing a nearly perfect game. They're about to upset the San Francisco 49ers. And Geno Smith fumbles the ball. And Spaghetti-O, the game is over. You know why? Because San Francisco is too good. They're going to take advantage of it. If you give them that second opportunity, they're going to punch you right in the mouth, and that's exactly what they did. And after that, Seattle couldn't recover, could they?
And I'm not trying to sit here and blame it all on Tom Brady. It's everybody. Everybody was dropping passes left and right, looked like shit. I'll tell you, here's the sad thing about it. The best play of the game was that onside return, or onside little thing we did.
Well, the best play of the game was Julio Jones finally getting free for 30 yards. But again, it takes them to get down 24-0 for this offense to wake up.
Here's where we messed up at. Where was that the entire game? I know Harry is probably watching this right now, and he's saying, you know what?
No, Harry's probably went to bed.
Deep,
right.
Throwing the ball deep. I disagree. It works. Right. It always works. There's been a couple times Mike Evans dropped. Oh, that's a big one. Another big one. Mike Evans dropped that just a tad bit short. That would have been another touchdown. No matter what, here's my point I'm getting to. I've already heard a couple reports. Leftwich is gone. I heard that the Bucs are going to announce his let go either tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Long story short, it's been the coaching. Coaching is our issue. Tom Brady didn't want Arians. He said that in the first place. This team lacked discipline all year. And unfortunately, that's where we fall short. If you're going to fall short, that's where we fell short tonight. There's no discipline. It's a free-for-all. It's been like that all year. But unfortunately, this Bucs team has played all year on that one play. What will define this game? That Tom Brady interception, unfortunately, which you and I talked about all year,
14-point swing.
That one play will define this entire team. So, yes, guys, it's so disappointing. I will say one thing, but based off Tom's post-conference or post-game I just watched, I don't expect Tom Brady to be coming back next year. I think based off that last bit of comments he made, I know you've been reporting tonight, Pete, but if you go back and watch the post game I just watched, those last bit of comments, he's not coming back next year. I doubt it. But let's not dwell on this current situation. It sucks. It does. Having the roster that, dude, if you would have told me that we were going to have the kind of season that we have with the roster that we had, I would have looked at you and laughed at your face.
No.
It's so disappointing. It's upset. But I guess we look at it like this. I'm still a Bucs fan for life. I'm never going to jump my ship.
Sure.
Never going to jump ship.
Good.
I love my Bucs. I love this organization. I just think we have a lot of issues to work on this offseason. Number one, starting with your quarterback. There's a ton of free agent options out there. You know what? How are we going to get better? Unfortunately, the sad news is I don't agree with the Bucs bringing back Todd Bowles. I think he's an issue. I'm disappointed to hear that they've already confirmed that he's your next year's head coach. I think he's a big issue. I don't think he has the discipline or the knowledge or the drive to give a team. I mean, I've watched him all year when there's a situation on the field and he's just sitting there with his hands crossed. I have no idea like he did tonight. There's no discipline from this man. Boy, am I missing Arians here this season. Yeah, it's so disappointing.
I think that's probably the big loss for me is BA not being. But again, it's tough to fire a coach after 1 year. But I just throw this out there.
It happens.
It definitely happens. We've seen it happen. We've seen it happen.
I've seen it halfway through a season
with the Houston Texans. Yes, we've seen it happen, and it's the right thing to do. I don't know what to say at this point, but looking at the product on the field, looking at how they play, looking at how they're prepared, looking at the same things over and over again, do you have confidence that Todd Bowles, being this coach going forward, is going to get it done? I'm not sure if I do.
I will say the same thing. I'm not sure if I do, but I will say one thing. The offense has struggled all year long.
All year.
It's been, you know what? Everybody that's sitting here pointing the fingers at the defense, you cannot be mad at this defense all year long.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, of course
this
not.
offense has done its best job to keep that defense on the field. There's been times that the defense is on the field for over 40 minutes of the ball game.
Too much. Too long.
You can't. And honestly, I'm shocked that the defense stayed as healthy as they did.
Yeah.
I really am.
Agreed.
And honestly, if you guys are upset, be upset at that offense. That's who you should be upset about. I mean, all year long, it's been the drop passes. It's been Mike Evans dropping some key passes. I'll never forget that open pass in the Carolina game. I'll never forget that.
Did it tonight. Had a chance to take it down to a 10-point lead, and who knows what happens at that point. You just never know.
If you would have caught that, Julio Jones already scored. You could have caught that wide open pass, and who knows?
It's down to 10. It's down to 10.
No, even better, Pete. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
If Tom Brady hadn't thrown that damn interception, we would have had that Julio Jones touchdown and that Mike Evans pass, and we'd be a tie ball game. I mean, come on, let's look at the whole overall situation. Listen, it's disappointing. Pete, I appreciate everything y'all do. It's been a great season. It's disappointing, man, but man, do we have some work to do. We're gonna have some cap space to work on. I believe we're still in a little bit of strapped cap space for next year. I'm not really ever sure how that worked on. So who comes back and what expectations are going into the off season? Boy, do the Bucs have a lot of work to do.
A lot of work and a lot of decisions to make.
But they've already done a key thing. Leftwich, you got to go. Sorry, buddy, you got to go. You'll never convince me in a million years, unless Tom Brady truly did his own thing tonight. You're never going to convince me that this is the storyline of this offense this entire year. Why are we throwing the ball on 2nd and goal on the 3-yard line with one of the best power running backs in the league of Leonard Fournette?
Makes no sense.
You will never convince me otherwise.
Makes no sense. I get it. Good stuff, Alex. Appreciate the call. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks a lot. Use that second call up on phone line. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. And again, I get it. There's frustration with a lot of Bucs fans. And you can go ahead and vent if you like to call the phone lines. Let's keep on reading these keep on reading these text messages. Here come all the sad calls. I mean, Troy, again, you're tuning into it. So obviously you're enjoying it. So just enjoy the suck. All right. So weird we're talking about our Swiss cheese offensive line while Winston was there, and we lost Wirfs week 16 last year, and the line just went to crap. You had Wirfs healthy. You had Jensen healthy. You had Donovan Smith healthy. But again, we keep on talking about it. What was the biggest loss of the year? Losing Jensen, most likely. And then also Ali Marpet. How important was he to this line at the left guard? Because he's a rookie. Luke Gedeke is not a good year. Struggled mightily. Not the answer. Maybe next year he is. Maybe a couple years down the road, who knows if he develops. Is it fair for him to come in and contribute right away like Ali Marpet? Maybe not. Because he didn't play the guard position in college. He played the right tackle position. Not every player you get from a small school is going to work out to be Ali Marpet. That's why that was a tremendous loss. But at the end of the day, those are just excuses. Next man up. Bucs didn't get it done tonight against the Cowboys. They were the better team. Congratulations to all the Dallas Cowboy fans. You're more than welcome to call me up and tell me I was right or tell me I was wrong, whatever you want to do. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. High five, Troy. Let's see. AMK, the interception set the tone for the game. I was embarrassed walking out of Hooters in Jacksonville at halftime. Of course, because you don't expect that. That's the first red zone interception by Tom Brady in his Bucs career. He doesn't do that. He's too much of an intelligent quarterback to do that. That's the reason why you got Tom Brady in that situation in the first place, because he's not going to turn over the ball in those situations. But he did tonight. And the Cowboys made him pay because they're a team that is going to make you pay. Congratulations to Dan Quinn. Did you forget? Dan Quinn was a part of that debacle. That 28-3 Atlanta, remember the Super Bowl? I guarantee he feels good tonight. I guarantee Mike McCarthy feels good tonight, secure that he's going to have a job at least until next week. And this Cowboy team will be dangerous, especially with Dak Prescott playing the way he does. So, yes, it was embarrassing. I feel Bowles isn't confident in himself, and friction between Bowles and Brady all year. You can see or hear tonight. Possible. Troy says, screw Jacksonville, 8-1-3, baby. I mean, you're just saying nonsense.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Seriously. I mean, I don't even know what you're saying at this point. You could see it in the beginning of the season with the look over the shoulder BS. I mean, I've said it over and over again. This team is missing BA. Whether you liked him or not, you're missing him. He was a big part of what this identity was. The accountability on this team stinks all year long. You're not a championship team if you don't have accountability for yourself. If I have a suck show, I'll tell you I have a suck show, and the next show will be better than the next one. I guarantee you. I work a sales job during the day. Have to get up here in a couple hours. Have to get screamed at by people that are like me right now, screaming at you. And if I don't do my job and produce, guess what? Out the door. Gone. Done. It doesn't matter how many years I've been there. Gone. Production-based business. What have you done for me lately? But it's accountability, being accountable for those actions. No player in that locker room right now has to be happy about this effort. None of them. All right, let's go out to Troy here. Speak up, Curtis. Shut up, Troy. Ray in his closet crying. Roger again. Where's the Greek? Sleeping. You know I'm right. Sad about the game, but happy Bulls and Leftwich are gone. Don't know if Bulls is gone. But recent reports from Scott Reynolds of Pewter Report have said the Bucs are expected to fire Byron Leftwich. So we'll see how that turns out. I can't hear this guy. I don't know. No more the sports web till next year. That's sad, bro, not knowing you, Peter. I don't know what you're talking about, Troy, because we're on here Monday and Wednesday nights, and when we have Bucs breaking news or anything that breaks here in the Tampa Bay area, we're always on. So you're completely ridiculous. Once again, sucking.
This guy sucks.
Let's go out to Roger. Funeral for Bucs season Tuesday at 12:45 at St. Vincent de Paul Catholic Church. Public invited. And also the Bears season was over in week 5, so keep it up.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Let's go out to Curtis Cumberbatch. I guess he's laughing. I guess he's entertained. That's always good. He's gone. Dave says, I can't call in, but this team was not ready. People can blame Brady all the way they want, but the game plan was terrible. No plan for Parsons. They let him take over. Bowles is not a head coach. I mean, that was a head scratcher tonight. You have Donovan Smith, who's the most penalized player in the league, on an island. What is he, the next Willie Roaf or Orlando Pace? One-on-one with Micah Parsons, who has 13 sacks coming into the game, who has probably sacked Tom Brady more times than any young player in the National Football League. He loves to sack Tom Brady, and yet you're putting him on an island. Does that make any sense at all? Coaching. Of course it doesn't make any sense. That's why we're getting upset about it. Because we talked about it in the pregame tonight. This guy would cause havoc. He did. The defensive line would cause havoc. They did. That's the reason why the offense sucked tonight. Dave says, it's draft season. Let's win it. We got free agency too. Bucs beat themselves, like always. I said this a couple weeks ago. Self-destruct Bucs. How many times this season? Drop passes. How many times this season that they've cost themselves with stupid penalties? Maybe not necessarily tonight. Although the Hakeem Hicks one. They're going to call that all day long because, you can't touch a quarterback. You can't sneeze on a quarterback. Can't even conversate with the quarterback without picking up a penalty. But if you drop full weight and you try to grab him by the neck, you're going to pick up the 15 yards. What to do? Extend the drive. You give a second opportunity to a good team that's hungry, that needs that win, that wants it. They get that opportunity, and guess what? They score. Why? Because you gave them the second opportunity. You had an opportunity to get off the field. Guess what? You couldn't do it. Why? Shot yourself in the foot. Self-destruct Bucs. Roger Shoe, Bowles, and Sandwich should be gone tomorrow. Michael. Glazer family, true wake-up call is this game. All this talent, nothing really was successful this year. We got the division okay, but look how this team is so disorganized every game. Great comment. Great comment. Woo! Great comment. Can't disagree with it. How many games this year do you think the Bucs have played well coming out? Seattle comes to mind. Even then, you had a slow start. I mean, that's a playoff team. Carolina, they played later on the season, but after that, what good games? Atlanta earlier on. New Orleans, Dallas. And after that, not much. Very inconsistent team. Very disappointing with all the talent they have. Very. Dave says the D was terrible after the first quarter. Mike Smith 2.0. Pretty much. Defense was optional tonight, especially with getting after the quarterback. It's football 101. If you don't get after the quarterback, if you allow a quarterback to throw where he wants, when he wants, as the great Leo Haggerty, the legend himself, would say, former Coach Scott and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports, which, by the way, thanks a lot for having us on your platform, would say he's going to pick you apart. Dak Prescott did. What was so hard about that? No blitzing tonight. If you blitzed, it didn't get home because credit to the offensive line, they were able to block. They were able to do their job. They executed. They did their job as players, as a unit, to shut them down. All we heard is, well, this team is going to get after it. Coming into the game, 45 sacks. Not good enough tonight. Not good enough. Thank Christ. SD says, for Gage, though, get well. Absolutely. Ralph. Rumor here in the Berg, Leftwich to the Steelers, Canada fired. That's what I heard too. Justin, anytime we were in the 2-minute offense this year, Brady was running the play. 73% of our points were scored in hurry-up offense this year, i.e. snapping the ball before 15 seconds on the play clock. And yet, they're not running this early on in the game. Why? Why? I don't know. Frank, thank you for the coverage this season. Keep up the great work. Prayers up for Gage. Absolutely. And Frank, we'll be back. You know, just because the Bucs season goes over, and I know that, you know, Troy is trying to be a funny guy, but we're here all season. This is what I love to do. This is my life. This is my life's work here. Say whatever you want to. Bucs lose, Bucs win, I'm here. Bucs draft, I'm here. Bucs free agency, I'm here. Bucs breaking news, I'm here. Rays breaking news, I'm here. Lightning breaking news, Lightning games, I'm here. Sports in general, I'm here. Not going anywhere. So don't you go anywhere. Thank you. Travis, Scott Reynolds reporting Bucs firing Leftwich. Thank you. Roger, I told Jensen would be no factor, and I was right. He wasn't a factor. It was good to have him back, but the offensive line was a mess. Troy, Bowles and Sandwich belong at the circus in the NFL. Too low. They should have eliminated D. Smith 2 years ago, and they better cut him this season, although at this point, it's a little late with Brady moving on. Also get rid of Gage and Julio Jones. When Jones was healthy, you could see he can make plays, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy consistently all year long. Gage was hurt all year, still had some main touchdowns, still had some performances, but very inconsistent also. So disappointing on both ends. SD, wasn't directing that at you, Pete. Mr. Palomalu, I know you were. I got you. Then why are you here thing? Yes, Brandon. Straight vertical routes and 2 runs in a quarter. Exactly. Same plays over and over again. Guys running in the same route tree. Same area. How does that happen in week 19? Not only having miscommunication on defense, but also on offense. How is this happening? I mean, Dallas is that good? I mean, maybe, I guess, a 12-win team with all the swaggers, the kids would say, the confidence, everything they have on the line. But you play like that. Thank God. God is great. Roger Shue. Bye-bye Leftwoods. Laugh out loud. Love it. Bulls needs to go. Dave, Peter, your opinion does Brady deserve the blame he's getting for the fans of this game? To a certain degree, yes, he does. All the blame, no. But, this is the way it is in the National Football League. It means not for long. I mean, 1 year, you're the greatest of all time, which you can't take that away from Brady because he did get this team to the Super Bowl, and he absolutely was a major part of the turnaround of this franchise. Make no mistake about it. But with the credit, you're going to have the criticism. Write that down, right? A quarterback is going to receive that. That's going to happen. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Welcome to the Sports Web. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's been a while, Pete. It's me, Gabe.
What's up, Gabe? How you doing? Your thoughts on this disappointing loss to the Dallas Cowboys tonight?
The only positive thing I can say is that the Bulls and Leftwich Clown Show might be over.
Well, yeah, that's the recent reports that are coming out here from Scott Reynolds' Pewter report that Byron Leftwich is expected to be fired. Let me ask you this. You've watched this team all year long. Do you feel confident going into next year with Todd Bowles as the head coach?
Oh, hell no.
Okay, why?
Well, I was defending him about halfway through the season.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying, the offensive play calling is because of Leftwich.
Mm-hmm.
But then we keep seeing these games where the defense just keeps falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
The Browns game is a chief example. 4th and goal, you can't stop David Njoku getting in the end zone. And then he was a tight end. That might have been a prelude for this game. I don't know. But so far, he has not impressed me after that, and I think he should go. His defensive strategies are not working. Add to the fact that he is as unenergetic as a man laying on his couch on Sunday night. He is not the guy going forward.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. I definitely can see your point on that. I don't know where to go at this juncture. I honestly don't. I don't know where the Glazers are go. I know the report was put out there this week that he's expected to come back. And to be fair to him, this is a handpicked coach from BA. This is who BA wanted to take over for him. and he get an opportunity to hire his own coaching staff. So he may get that opportunity, and we'll see how it works out. I don't like hiring and firing coaches in 1 year, but it happens in the NFL, and I'll be curious to see what the Glazers think of this performance going forward. What else?
When was the last time the Glazers ever made a good decision besides getting Tom Brady and Bruce Arians?
Well, they made plenty of good decisions, my friend. I mean, in 2002, getting John Gruden and letting Gruden go out and get free agents and everything else, they've done a lot for this team to win. Gabe, hold on a second. Let me put you on hold really quick. Hold up a minute. We're going to finish off with Gabe, and then we'll get out to you, all right? Stand by.
All right.
All right, Gabe, go ahead and finish up here with your point. I definitely think the Glazers have done everything they can to make this team a winner. They put all the resources, and I think that's the disappointing factor in this all, is all these resources that have been put in the last couple of years, and you fall short.
Oh, Lord, don't even get me started on all of that. But coaching is only part of the problem.
Okay.
Coaching is only part of the problem.
Okay.
We got Donovan Smith. We might as well just call him Hold Boy for a while. Hold Man, rather.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
We have Devin White, who's pretty much disappeared after the 2020 season.
Yeah, not a good season for him. Definitely
and
not.
We also have Mike Evans developing stone hands, but still got 1,000 yards, so
yeah,
that's a positive.
That has been the mystery this year, with the lack thereof of chemistry with Brady and Evans, and who knows, some of that stuff may come out this year. I don't know. Maybe it's injuries. Maybe it's just missing. I don't know. It's just not there like it has been the previous 2 years. Good stuff, Gabe. What else?
That's basically it. I do have hope that Brady might come back if we do indeed get rid of Leftwich.
Do you want him back? Do you want Brady back as the quarterback?
Well, I would prefer between Brady and maybe a young, good draftee, maybe, but we're not in a position to draft a good quarterback. So I would love to have Brady back, but because none of this has really been his fault. Sure, he's had a few bad games, but I think this all just comes up to Leftwich's horrible offensive play calling.
All right. Good stuff, Gabe. Definitely don't be a stranger. Use that second call if you like to, my friend. All right. Thanks a lot for calling the Evolution.
Ooh,
all right, man.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you. Let me go out to the phone lines here. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Welcome to the Evolution.
Hey, what's up? This is Lou. I'm calling from Tampa.
What's up, Lou? How you doing, bud? Welcome.
Not good, bro. Yeah, I'm pissed.
I get it. And that's what I'm here for, man. I'm here to hear what you have to say here. What's the solution for you? What were your thoughts on this game tonight?
Oh, man, it was a horror show, man. I'm very disappointed. I thought we were going to come in, handle business,
Yep.
and maybe probably lose next week. But, man, but we need to change this. It starts with Bowles. Bowles got to go, man.
Yep.
I've been saying this from the first like the second game, man. You know what I'm saying? We got too much talent on this team, you know what I'm saying, to be playing the way we are, Then defenses across the league, they know what we're gonna do.
Yep.
Run, pass on third and 100,
It's like playing that guy in Madden. You ever play Madden before there, Lou? I played guys in Madden, right? They could do the same play over and over again, and they could be successful. But you got those guys out there that have like 3 or 4 plays in that playbook, and they try to continue to run them, and they don't work. That's like watching the Bucs this year. Run the same play over and over again and expect different results. Whether it was running on first down or running on fourth down, doesn't make any sense. I mean, you've got to be more creative than this. And look at what Brian Daboll has done with the New York Giants and Daniel Jones, who is a turnover machine, and he's transformed that offense. Why? With the play calling, with being more creative, with not necessarily having names like Evans and Godwin. Could you imagine if the Giants had Evans and Godwin, how explosive that offense would be? And yet we're sitting here on this night after a disappointing showing against the Dallas Cowboys, who I get it are a 12-win team, and they can't even score 17 to 24 points consistently. They're a 17 to 18 point scoring team after they were 30 the last 2 years. They can't score that many points with all those weapons. Something has to change.
There's something wrong, definitely. Our offense has been on man rookie mode the whole season.
Pretty much. That's what it is. Rookie mode for the Madden.
Yeah, because we got incompetence in the coaching position.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably Brady's fault too. I think he wanted that individual in that role instead of Bruce. Because Bruce called him out, you know what I'm saying? Bruce called and held Brady accountable.
Yep.
Bruce doesn't hold Brady accountable. See, Bruce held the whole team accountable. You know what I'm saying?
I don't see it. Because if you hold that team accountable, then Lou, how do you explain doing the same thing over and over again? And how are the same players doing it over and over again? Like Donovan Smith, like I get it. Maybe you do have an injury or you have some personal stuff off the field. I get that. But if you're not doing your job to the best of your ability and you're still committing penalties that are killing this team while you're still playing, well, the easy answer is because you don't have anything better. That's a problem in itself. But again, it comes down to accountability. If you don't do your job, Lou, every day, do you get sent home or do you get sat down and told, you know what, you're not doing good enough. We need to send you home or cut your pay. Do you feel that?
They're going to send my ass home.
That's it. Send you home. Log your ass out. You're done.
Absolutely.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying anything that it's rocket science here. I mean, it's just not happened for this team, and it has been an occurrence all year long with them not having the accountability and doing the same things over and over again. How many times, Lou, did you have wide open wide receiver? I mean, you get tired of Joe Buck, who, by the way, great announcer, but man, can you please wake up, get some coffee, get some excitement? Can we get some Gus Johnson there? It's a Monday Night Football game, but he keeps on saying, guys wide open, guys wide open, guys wide open. I mean, how many times can a Bucs defender allow a Dallas offensive player to be wide open before you start to change some things or make some things happen or make adjustments?
Yeah, I know. You know they made Dallas look like something that
the greatest team of all time.
I don't think they are. I don't think they're good. I don't think they're that good.
I mean, if Dak is playing like that, the defense is playing like that. I mean, who knows? They could definitely go a long way. They're going to have their hands full with San Francisco. I can tell you that right now. They're going to have their hands full.
Yeah, they're going to lose to San Francisco. But they was playing an incompetent team.
Yep.
Incompetent.
Yep.
So
Yep.
an incompetent team will make a bad team look good. You see what happened with Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh game, the Cleveland game, the
Carolina game,
the first Panther game.
Right. You have an interim coach. You just traded Christian McCaffrey. You just traded Robbie Anderson. You have a coach that's you just got off from the staff, and you should be in disarray. And that team is more prepared to play, and they come out and kick your ass 21-3.
Right.
How is that possible?
With some guys that was a local bag boy at their local supermarket. Like,
it's just amazing to me, Lou.
Some time ago. Well, I don't know what to do, man. Hey, we're gonna have the same issue next year. It's this guy coming back. So who go get offensive coordinator? Do you have
That's a great question. I mean, Bill O'Brien is out there. I mean, word was last year when Byron Leftwich was going to accept the job to Jacksonville, which, by the way, good thing for them. He didn't, because Doug Peterson has done wonders with Trevor Lawrence and that team. But they were going to hire former Tom Brady offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien. Not a great coach, not a great general manager by any means, but as an offensive play caller, pretty good. We'll see how it works. Cliff Kingsbury is out there. I mean, there could be some names, but it certainly looks like Byron Leftwich is done with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, that's going to have the problem, though. We still have the same issues next year.
That's a problem.
We can have Joe Montana in his prime down here right now, and it won't not work.
I agree.
This guy, please, we need to make a big sign and stand for $1, $5, and we get these big petitions and just everybody tired. Bo's got to go. He's got to go. I mean,
well, again, it looks like they're going to keep him. I'm not in favor of firing head coaches after 1 year, but I would definitely think the Glazers are considering it and looking at it. And again, they care about the fan base. They care about fans like you, Lou. They care about all the fans that watch this show and listen to the show.
No, I'm having a million sleepless nights right now.
I get it. Well, hopefully you get some sleep, my friend.
I'm big mad right now. But
well, I know you're big mad, and keep on tuning in to the evolution. And,
I sure will. Yeah,
I appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate
you.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't be a stranger and use that second call if you feel like it. All right, my friend?
Yes, sir, I will. Thank you. Have a good night, bro.
All right, thank you, Lou.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff there from Lou. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I'm not going to give this second number. I can't remember it. It's out there, 727-409-7528. It's 727-409-7528. All right, let's see here. So does Brady deserve the blame? Yes, he does. He absolutely deserves the blame in this. He deserves the blame in this season. We talked about that. All right, let's go out to Tristan. Welcome to the evolution here after the Bucs lose to the Dallas Cowboys. Welcome, my friend. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has, Pete, man. It was hard to find you this year. Did you switch profiles or something?
No, I'm here, man. I'm here on I Love St. Pete and Amped Up Sports, and I'm always make friends with me, my friend. Peter H. Blake on Facebook, and like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. I'm here for you, my friend.
That's what I got to do. I got to put it on YouTube, but for some reason on Facebook for this year and basically most of last year, I didn't get you.
I don't know, man. I'm here. I'm always here. I'm always talking Bucs football and talking local Tampa Bay sports. I'm here for you, my friend. So what do you think tonight?
Oh, well, first and foremost, let's give a shout out to the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care how you cut it or slice it. They played a hell of a game.
Yep.
You got to give it up for their OC out there who last year everybody said was incompetent. This year he put his tail off.
Correct. Absolutely.
Much shout outs to Mike McCarthy for coaching his tail off, and the D coordinator Dan Quinn up there. He finally got Brady.
Yep.
Now let's get to us. This game was awful. Brady he was not Heimdall and Thor Ragnarok, and he did not possess the old magic.
Nope, he did not. There was no Brady magic tonight besides when they were down 24-0, and you finally get some pass completions to Otten and Evans, and then you get the long one to Julio Jones. But, for me, for the life of me, Tristan, I continue to ask this question. I'm going to ask fans. I'm going to ask you this question. Why does it take so long for this team to have urgency? Why do they have to have their backs against the wall for them to turn this offense on? Why?
Well, truthfully, it's been an ongoing problem all season. First and foremost.
Right.
Let's just walk it down if we can.
Sure.
If I may, please.
Do it.
Let's point out the obvious thing, right? And I know everybody wants to say coaching this and the incompetency of Byron Leftwich and so forth.
Sure.
Obviously, the game plan had to change once we went down by 18 points. So theoretically, you have to change the game plan. But the problem lies, in all honesty, man, we got to start pointing out to the same thing before Brady got here to what it is now since Brady has aged on the clock. Jason Light needs to be under a magnifying glass. And I say this, right? There's no way you should go into this season losing Ali Marpet retiring, Alex Kappa being traded to the Bengals, and Ryan Jensen being injured. There's no way that we should be going into this season with Shaq Mason as being our premier guard.
Well, look, I think picking him up was a good move. I don't think he was a part of the problem. I think it was more of that left side, if you will, playing a rookie. You lose. I'm trying to think of his name, and you play him in the preseason game, and that kind of changes what you want to do because you could have played him because he had experience. I can't think of his name right now. Damn it, it's too late. But they lose the left guard. Who had experience and played in that Super Bowl year when Kappa went out. You played the right guard, so you could have put him at left guard. But at the end of the day, you were forced to play Luke Gedeke, and you didn't play Nick Leverett, and he didn't pull him out when he was struggling. And that's again falling down to accountability and coaching. But you're exactly right. Jason Light also has to take some blame for this. The free agency. Let's take a look at it. Julio Jones, did he work out this year? Not in my mind, he didn't. He wasn't consistent enough. He didn't make enough plays. Maybe at the end of the game, but health-wise, he's not the same Julio Jones. Russell Gage, everything he could do, cannot stay on the field this year. Where else do you want to go? Logan Hall. didn't make a lot of plays this year. You get rid of Sue. Tight end, there's another one. I mean, Kyle Rudolph, not a good player, not somebody that really contributed this year. So, yes, Jason Light can definitely be a part of this blame. I think everybody in this organization can be a part of the blame, and that's what the Glazers are going to evaluate going into this offseason.
Well, those are lofty expectations to expect the Glazers to make incremental improvements, whether it be through anything else outside of getting rid of Light. And the reason why all of my things are pointed towards Jason Light, right, is because it's like literally he felt he kind of rested and thought it was God, and was like on the fourth day it was good enough and he was pleased and left it alone. We can talk about the cornerback position. You can say what you want. I like Carlton Davis, I like Jamel Dean, and I like Sean Murphy Bunting, but they're literally all the same players. I took it a step further and I look at the statistics of those guys. You realize all three of those guys, they all have 7 between Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis, and 6, respectively, to Sean Murphy Buntings in interceptions over the last 4 years.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
That averages out to 1.3 to 1.4 interceptions per season per person.
Not good.
There's no defense that you can sit back and tell me you got guys getting interceptions like that can do it.
Right.
Linebackers, I give respect to Levante David, and I give respect to Devin White. Those guys, they're doing what they're supposed to be. To me, it reminds me of Ray Lewis when he lost Tony Siragusa and Big Boy Adams up front. In those years, they were like Ray is washed, and he looked bad because he didn't have those hogs up front.
It's a fair point.
Then we go to the D-line. Obviously, I don't know if you recall my issues with having Vita Vea is apparently, supposedly, our premier D lineman. There's no other team that runs a 3-4-4-3 hybrid to where anybody on that D line averages less than 10 sacks. You can go to the Jets with Quentin Williams. You can go to Baltimore with what they got up there. You can pick out any 3-4-4-3 hybrid defense, and their D lineman gets it. We do not have the hogs on the D line to get it done. As we saw tonight, and this is why I say why I don't understand why people point to coaching. If we sit back, we cannot get pressure with 4 people.
No.
There's no scheme that we can call right now as the roster sits as it is that can get pressure with the 4 men up front.
Right.
None.
No.
And Shaq Barrett has been average the last 2 years after his career season.
Well, you definitely missed him, but you're exactly right. After that big time season, after the contract, you're getting hurt, but you definitely missed him. You know, Anthony Nelson made some plays this year. Carl Nassib, they picked him off the street, but it's not enough. And you got to give credit to where credit is due. That offensive line, whether they were holding all night long, they did a damn good job. And once the Bucs couldn't blitz, because 30% of their sacks this year was off the blitz. If they did blitz, the Cowboy line would pick it up and Dak would have one-on-one coverage. And that's what you're supposed to do when you're a good team. And when you don't get to the quarterback and allow him to have that much time to throw, Dak is going to pick you apart. Even though he was coming in those first 2 series, he felt good about it. But again, that line didn't get enough pressure. And that, to me, is on Todd Bowles. But you're exactly right. You don't have the horses because you have major injuries. And that's where you have to go. You know, Logan Hall made a play tonight, but few and far between. I get it. He's a rookie. You're drafting me in the 2nd round. If you're going to replace Ndamukong Suh, you better get it right. That's it. And those guys were leaders on this team. Is this defense missing that leadership? Definitely. Yes. I think they are. Yes. I think it's apparent they were missing them.
And that's to my point, right? Like throughout the whole season, it's been the same thing. The lack of pass rush, and then depending on these corners who are good physical corners and good man corners, but they're not turnover special. Like there's no Sauce Gardner on this defense.
No.
You understand what I'm saying?
I agree. I mean, I think Carlton Davis can be that. He's been that, but does he get those interceptions? Does he shut down some players? I mean, tonight, I don't know where he was. He had a big-time matchup against CeeDee Lamb. He's nowhere to be found. Whether it was him or Sean Murphy Bunting or whatever they were doing, it wasn't working because, Tristan, all night long you heard defensive breakdowns, a defensive bust. How does that happen in Week 19 in a wild card game? Is Dallas that well coached? Are they scheming that well to trick that Bucs staff that much? I mean, I don't get it.
Well, here's the thing. Todd Bowles, he had to disguise the blitz because Dak, if you notice after coming from the third drive on, Dak was dialed in when he recognized the
11 for 11 consecutive passes. Yeah, I think he's definitely dialed in. Yeah, he's definitely dialed in.
And every time we blitz, like when you saw Winfield step up on the blitz, you would see Dak acknowledge him on the blitz, and he would attack the blitz and point.
Yeah.
So every time in which we blitzed, it was like, and then it's like if you don't blitz and you depend on these guys up front, there's no pressure.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's nothing.
No pressure.
And I mean, I get that we all want to say, well, coaching this, you got to scheme better. But I mean, if you don't have the horses, like what can you scheme?
It's true.
And we thought a good parallel comparison. You can look at Detroit. You had Hutchinson out there, right?
Correct.
Who turned out to be a revelation.
Correct.
And as great as Hutchinson was, that defense was still the worst in the league.
They don't have enough horses. They don't have enough players. You're exactly right. They got to build that defense up. I tell you right now, that offense is going to be something next year. If they're definitely going to be scary. But you're exactly right. You got to have a defense to win in this league. You look at the Minnesota Vikings, 13-4. And they fall yesterday. Why? Because they were winning all these close games. But that stuff does not equate to playoff football. It doesn't.
It's not sustainable.
It's not.
A sustainable
and
formula.
it's not sustainable to get down 14 to 21 points and expect to come back it's just not going to happen. It expends energy. And on top of it, teams are going to be better than that. And the Dallas Cowboys are a better team than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And there's no doubt about it after their play tonight. Tristan, what else?
Yeah, 52-52. Yeah, advantage Dallas for sure. my thing is, right?
Yeah.
Tonight, what stood out to me, and maybe I didn't catch maybe I didn't follow up enough, but was Scotty Miller injured or something?
Well, I didn't see Scotty Miller. I didn't see Jamel Dean. I guess he had an illness. I mean, I didn't see some of the players. I didn't see any of the players tonight. I didn't see both of those players. So I don't know what was going on. I know Dean was one of their top corners and has done a hell of a good job, and he's going to be up for free agency. But you're exactly right. He hasn't been able to secure interceptions this year, and lately he hasn't been able to stay healthy at all. And that's been the bugaboo of this defense the last couple of years. Health, the availability. And Sean Murphy-Bunting is just, I love the kid, but he's inconsistent. He's just too inconsistent.
Vernon Hargrave, get him out of there.
He's shown flashes. I mean, we saw it in 2020 and was still looking for that player to show up, and it hasn't been, few and far between. He hasn't shown up. He hasn't.
Well, that's how Jamel Dean was able to go from the slot corner to the starting and outside.
Correct.
Because of his injuries and his lack of consistency.
And I'd rather have Dean on the outside than I'd rather have Sean Murphy-Bunting at the end of the day. Don't you?
That's a decision that's going to have to be made this offseason.
They're gonna have to figure that out because they paid Carlton Davis last offseason big time money. Are they going to do the same thing with Jamel Dean, Zion McCollum? Not a tackler. He's going to have to improve on some things. I get it. Let's give the kid some time. But is he the answer? Remains to be seen. From everything I've seen so far, not so much.
Good special teams player, though. the problem lies, though, we have Antoine Winfield at points playing the slot at certain points throughout the season.
Yes.
Now, my second thing is, right, and I know, again, a lot of people want to allude to coaching and say coaching this is coaching that. But can you name me a team that's in these playoffs where your wide receivers is the bulk load of your paycheck?
I really can't. I tell you the truth, I can't.
There's no team. Peter, it was a trick question. I'm sorry I did it.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
It was a trick question. There's no team in the league that has your wide receiver as your highest paid position group. And I hate to say it. And I remember a couple of years ago when it came time to re-sign God, when I was like, you know what? Let's get him on the trade market because we have a team full of possession receivers. It's not going to bode well when we need big plays.
Yeah. Well, this team is definitely missing that speed, right? I mean, you got Scotty Miller. They thought that Jalen Darden was that guy. He's definitely not the guy. He's definitely not a punt returner. He fell down more and ran out of bounds more than any returner I've seen in NFL history, but he wasn't the answer. And you're exactly right. Rex Ryan said it best. This team doesn't have speed. They're old and slow, whether that's Godwin coming off the ACL, still over 100 receptions. I get what you're saying, though. Both of those wide receivers, they don't necessarily have that speed. And let's just put it out there. As crazy as he was, Antonio Brown is definitely a missing component on this offense. This offense was completely different with him in that lineup. And when you don't have him, you're searching for that, and you don't have that right now. And that's what the Bucs have to address. And, you know, there's been rumors out there about Mike Evans. I love Mike Evans. I think he's the most consistent Buccaneer of all time. But I can't make sense of some of the things that have gone on this year, whether he's running wrong routes, whether Brady's not looking for him, they don't have the chemistry, just simply dropping passes that you know Mike Evans should make, like he did tonight, where the game could be closer and you could get down to 10. We've seen it happen this year far too often.
Yeah, but like with any receiver and every receiver that we've ever seen, right?
Yep.
The age-old adage is if you don't get them involved early, you can't expect them to be there late.
Well, I mean, and that's the craziest thing. I mean, how do you not have Mike Evans involved in your game plan every game somehow? And that comes down to coaching. That comes down to the offensive staff. And that's probably the reason why Byron Leftwich is going to be fired. So I'm curious to see who the new offensive coordinator is going to be. We'll definitely get you abreast of that situation when it happens. Tristan, thanks a lot for the call. Don't be a stranger, my friend. I'm still here.
I joined. I'm back in the party.
All right. Well, you're always welcome to the party. I know we had a disagreement a long time ago, but you know, you're always welcome here. You're a webhead on the sports web. All right, my friend.
Yeah, but let me tell you, it's never a disagreement amongst friends.
Right? That's it. You're definitely a friend.
And I hate to tell you, Peter, it's become apparent I was right.
Well, to a certain degree, but they still did win the Super Bowl, did they not, my friend?
Oh, no, I give you props on it.
Right.
I give you props.
I will give you props.
Yes.
It wasn't. Hey, listen. You get 2 division titles. You're disappointed. You're only 1 play away from going to the NFC Championship, but I get it. Neither here nor there. You've got to definitely address that situation. Either it's offensive line, quarterbacks. The Bucs have a lot of decisions to make in the offseason, and don't worry, Tristan, we'll be here for you taking your calls. All right, my friend?
Yeah, and the Brady experiment was a success, by the way. Congrats to you on your initial predictions on that. It was great. I was wrong on that, and I can admit it.
Hey, man, I admit it too. I admit that I was wrong about some things too. And that's the great thing about the sports web, because at the end of the day, we'll walk away, we'll be friends, and you can always call back and disagree or agree with me anytime you want to. All right, my friend?
For sure. See you in free agency.
All right, see you sooner than that. We got some decisions here in the next couple weeks. I got to tell you, I'm talking to some people in the know. We got some decisions coming down the pike. You just stay tuned. All right, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. See you later.
Ooh, yeah.
Good stuff there. Tristan from Georgia calling in, or Florida. I think he was from Georgia, but he hasn't called in a while. And we're almost to the 1:30 hours. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers have fallen to the Dallas Cowboys as the season is officially over. And I hate to say that because I'm an eternal optimist. I thought this team could turn it on and they could have a second season, but they are what they are. This is what this team is. And somebody just texts me, you think Brady retires? He may. I mean, but you're throwing a quarterback out there 66 times and only running the ball 12. You wonder why you lose the game. And I get it, you're down. I mean, that's the reason why. One of the many reasons why. All right, let's keep on reading these comments. As always, Frank, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Prayers up to Gage. We'll check on that situation. Why didn't they give D. Smith some help? Agree. Dustin, we may need a mobile quarterback with the old line the way it is. That's certainly a possibility, I guess. Sandwich and a bright future with Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Welcome back to Tampa, Gruden and Derek Carr. That's nonsense.
This guy sucks.
Derek Carr, maybe John Gruden is not going to coach in the league. Never. Not for this team. Bucs could sign Mitch. No, we'll pass on that. Peter, thank you for what you do because our team played with no passion with the locker room problems back in August. off to the draft. Robert, thank you very much. Appreciate the support. Let's go out to Roger. Arians could have fixed this poo. Couldn't have fixed this poo. I'm not sure about that. I don't think it would have happened like this. Sydney says for Gage, prayers between the refs and their BS calls, the coaches, the missed defensive tackles, miscatches. Did this season even happen? It seems like a nightmare, honestly. With all the expectations at the beginning of the year, Sydney, so many, and it just was a weird season, wasn't it? I mean, it really was. So good comment there. Let me go ahead and give you this. Let's go out to AMK. I guess Jacksonville being down 27-0.5 had honestly given me some hope despite me storming out of the bar. Understand it. Understand it absolutely. But this team put themselves in a hole tonight and was not able to dig themselves out. Dave says, BA sorely missed as a coach. It showed this year. SD, God effing forbid we get that quarterback. Shooter and Stash, definitely don't be a stranger here on the Evolution. It wasn't meant to be this season. It wasn't. Ralph, a bunch of guys out there for OC. Dustin, we need more speed on offense. Agree with that. Something they need to address in the offseason. Todd Monken is a name that has been bandied about. He has worked with this team before. He's done some great things with Georgia. Is that talent? Is that him? Is that scheme? I definitely think the Bucs are going to explore that possibility, depending on who the quarterback is, which you don't know. Is it Brady going to come back? There's been rumors out there. The Raiders are going to make a full court press. San Francisco. Miami, I don't think it's going to happen. The Jets, possibly. Who knows? Bill and Brian. Travis says, what about Bowles? I don't know. You know I'm right. My God, can't hear him. Travis, 4 straight 80-yard touchdowns. That's going to kill you. That's on your defense. Is it because your defense is tired because your offense is not able to sustain drives? Probably. But they got to step up. If they're a top unit, if they pride themselves on a top defense in the National Football League, they got to make some plays. You got to call some turnovers. They weren't able to do that this year. And furthermore, you're not able to get after the quarterback, which is what you're able to do against before the Super Bowl year. That's what you're able to do. And that's the comparison. And that's what you're comparing it to. And they didn't do enough of that this year. Not enough. Can you tell these callers to speak up or read more comments? Speak up or hang up on Curtis. Troy, oh, my bad. He's probably crying in the closet.
This guy sucks.
Angie, the coaches drove a Madden-like team into the ground. Yes, like Bulls did the Jets. Good comment there.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Roger. Can't heal Curtis. I don't know why. Poor play calling, weak, predictable, conservative. We couldn't get a first down the majority of the time. Great comment.
Flawless victory.
Dave says, how can you be at the 4-yard line and not try to even disguise at least one running play? 4 straight passes. Amazingly terrible. Brady, stick with his stats, though. He still had more pass completions than someone else who was here longer than him. It was bad for him, but his stats aren't bad. 1 issue, play calling. 2, team was out of sync. I don't know why they never got it together. Great comments by Angie.
Oh, yeah.
Angie is bringing it tonight here on the Evolution. Definitely don't be a stranger, my friend. Chris Sims sucked. I really didn't need to be reminded about that one. Sorry about that.
That's good enough to suck right there.
Let's go out to Justin, year 5. 5 players left. We are 6 losses worse this year. Sue, JPP, Marpet, Kappa, and Gronk. That equates to 6 more losses. It clearly points to coaching. Agree. Sydney again. Prayers up for Gage. I think I read that. Thank you, Sydney. Brady's leaving because he got tired of playing a buck of, okay. Tristan, again, get Light out of here. I know you're not a big Jason Light fan. Dave, I think it's time to blow it up. We got our Super Bowl now. Let's rebuild along with the rest of the division. See who comes out on top. Tristan, no way you have to go and put up a makeshift offensive line like this. We didn't have the horses to compete. Again, great comments by Tristan.
Yeah.
Sydney, embarrassing doesn't even begin to describe it. Sorry to hear that. I agree with you. Christopher Cole, they play like it was a preseason game. Frank, what position would you say is the must in the first round? Offensive line? Left tackle, maybe? Maybe it's time to shift Donovan Smith. Also, edge rusher, in case you do lose Shaq Barrett. JTS, certainly, I don't think they're going to give up on him, but he hasn't filled the bill yet. I get it, second year. Maybe that's where you're looking edge. I mean, corner, Jamel Dean. I mean, it just depends on what you do in free agency. There's plenty of things you can do with this team in the draft. Draft is a little ways away. Let's see free agency, what they do and what kind of decisions they make on coaching staff and who's going to be the quarterback of this team, because that could also factor in to this decision. So good stuff there, Frank. Fournette is garbage. Frank, I absolutely agree. Sydney again, wouldn't have made more sense, I don't know, to give the ball to playoff Lenny? Yeah, at the goal line, especially to give the ball more to him. I see that Rashard White got some carries. But yes, I don't understand why he wasn't given the ball more tonight. The running game overall, 12 times you're going to run the ball. I get it, you're down in the game, but how can you just forget about the running game altogether? They did it all year long. That's the disappointing thing. You know, I'm not a cook, okay, but I'll go and say this. Air fryers save lives, okay? Because it's real easy. You take the chicken, you spice it up, you put it in the air fryer for, 25 minutes at 350, and you can't screw it up. Same thing with this football team. When they're balanced, when they're running the ball, and they're able to take the pressure off the quarterback and make the defense accountable, then they're able to win more games. You're not winning games if you're throwing the ball 40 to 60 times a game. I'm sorry, you're not. It's not going to happen, not consistently. You're not going to do it. You got to have balance. That's the recipe for success when it comes to playoff football. You've got to have that. Good comment. Troy, when the ball is handed to Fat Lenny, he can't even run for 3 yards. Fournette is garbage. Is that Fournette, or is that the fact the offensive line is not opening up the holes consistently? I mean, you are so critical of Leonard Fournette, but yet you don't look at the true problem. It's the offensive line. They have been terrible this year when it comes to pass protection, when it comes to opening up holes consistently. They have not been able to do it. I don't care if you got Barry Sanders back there. Pretty amazing running back. He could create his own hole. But mostly with this line, you're not going to do much. You're not. You're not going to do it. Let's go on to Justin. Lefty clearly didn't have the play calling restrictions when BA was on the sideline, or BA was making more play calls than we all realized. Aha! Maybe that's what it was, huh? Maybe it was BA all along. AMK, what kind of draft capital can we get for any aging, underachieving veteran players? I love to see us try to do something like what the Eagles have been able to do. I think anything and everything is on the table at this juncture. Because anybody that sits here and says that they're happy with just winning the NFC South and being 8-10 for the season, or 8-9, again, you're not going to be happy. So I think Jason Light in this organization is going to explore every possibility. Tristan, to act like Brady didn't change plays or have input on this offensive game plan is just insane. You're exactly right. Exactly. This is what I've been going through. It's not just Byron Leftwich. It's not just Todd Bowles. It's also Todd Brady. It's his influence. This is his offense. How many play calls? Who knows? But here's what we do know. It didn't work at all. How do you have a Lamborghini and then basically it turns into like a lemon? How does that work out? I mean, that's what this offense turned into this year. You're scoring 30 points a game since your Super Bowl year. Even last year, you were able to score 30 points. And look at the 20-yard plays you had. You're leading the National Football League. You couldn't do that this year. How many 20-yard plays did you have this year? Not many. Not many at all. Not as many as last year. So I don't know. I used to give a new coach 3 years at least, but when a coach is handed a 1-year removed Super Bowl roster and this is the result, he must be fired. All right, Dave. Thank you, Peter, for another season of coverage. Always enjoy the show no matter what. Keep up the great work. Prayers out for Gage until next season. Go Bucs. Absolutely. Go Bucs.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go on to Lou here. We are a... Yes. Dustin says, and I'm really tired of seeing Donovan Smith in a Bucs uniform. I mean, he was just awful this year, wasn't he? He was not good. He was not good. He was a turnstile. You know what a turnstile is? Not good. Guys running all over the place. I mean, you could see it the first of the game. Micah Parsons. This is why he's one of the best defensive players in the game, young defensive players all over the place. Whether it's left, right, spin move on Tristan Wirfs tonight. Once again, doing that. Did a spin move on Donovan Smith earlier this year and saying, look at the numbers, 73 points scored and hurry up offense would have been closer to 80% if not for the last 3 games of the season. Hurry up offense is run by Brady. What does that say about Bulls? Lefty offense didn't look like under BA. Jordan, what can be done about Donovan Smith and his damn holds? I don't know. I mean, he was somewhat of a pretty good left tackle in the Super Bowl year, right? And then he's really just fallen off a cliff this year, gone back to the technique. I always go back to this when BA talked about it, and he said this. This was his saying. You know, Donovan Smith wants to knock the shit out of somebody so much that he loses technique. Maybe he was trying to do that. Maybe he was dealing with an injury. There was some things off the field. Who knows? But the play wasn't there this year, and it hurt this offensive line. You've got to have that left tackle protect the blind side of a quarterback, especially one that's aging like Brady. You can't afford to take those hits because when you get pressure, guess what happens? The timing is screwed up. The quarterback is going down. There's an opportunity for some bad things to happen, or more than likely a sack, which sometimes leads to a turnover. So you got to have that position in check. And it hasn't been checked all year long. I don't know. Fire Bulls already, please. Jordan, what can we do about Donovan Smith and his holding? Dude once again got called for holding on the opening drive. Yeah, not good. Troy, your team was at home, so shut up. Great comment.
Flawless victory.
Great stuff there, Dave. Sydney, what have they done for us lately? Raise our blood pressure. Also, can we talk about Mr. Donovan friggin' Smith? Is he a friggin' spy or something? WTF. It's a good comment.
Oh, yeah.
Agree. Most penalized player all year long. Please fire Bulls. Sydney, again, you're awesome, Peter. Thank you for another season. I guess you can call it that. Ha ha. Absolutely, Sydney. Thanks a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you. Ben says, Bucs crap the bed tonight. Plain and simple. Sydney, again, Bulls is a friggin' statue. Dustin, major thanks for the show because it helps me get out of my negativity after these type of losses. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to either be, and I always say this on the sports web, you're psychologist or you're psycho. More times than not, I'm usually a psycho on this show. You've seen me. You see my face turn red. You've seen me get upset and angry, and that's real emotion. And I understand where fans coming from because I'm like you. I'm still a fan. I've been watching this team since I was 8 years old, probably younger than that. And we've all experienced some bad Bucs football, haven't we, Bucs fans? Bucs Nation? It's going to get better. But when it's not good, we're going to talk about it. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So, Dustin, thanks a lot. Appreciate that. That's why I do what I do here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Christopher Gage taken to the hospital. We'll update that situation. You're avoiding all my comments about Fournette being garbage. No, I'm not. I mean, but you never add anything to the conversation besides you don't like Leonard Fournette and you love Doug Martin. I mean, that makes no sense. You're just trolling me. Thank you, Peter, for another season of coverage. Always enjoy the show no matter what. Keep up the great work. Prayers out for Gage until next season. Go Bucs. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
You know I'm right. Call into the show, Troy. He won't. Peter needs to be the next voice of the Bucs when Mean Gene retires. Would love to hear you call the games, brother. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Flawless victory.
I am a fan of Gene Deckerhoff. Met him actually when I was 8 years old. You know, the Bucs used to have a fan fest, got an opportunity and didn't realize it because I always tell this story about my dad sitting me down and saying, look, you're a Bucs fan, you're a Tampa Bay sports fan, and you're a Florida State fan. And when you were a Florida State fan, you heard the voice of God, and that was Gene Deckerhoff, who's amazing. Met him when I was 8 years old, got a chance for him to sign my creamsicle shirt. I don't know where it's at. Seen him some years later, always a great man, done great work for the Bucs for so many years. Good luck to him. It's disappointing that it's going to be his last year. It's disappointing it's going to be Big Nasty's last year. Right? And it may be the last year of Tom Brady. This may be it. Not a great moment to go out on for all these men. Not great at all. Not good. But I love that. Appreciate that comment. Thank you very much. Troy, I guess, is falling asleep. Maybe it's just me, but ever since the Browns game, Evan seems to care more about drawing pass interference calls as opposed to actually catching passes, except for the second Carolina game. 3 touchdowns against Carolina. He was amazing. It just has not been there this year consistently. I don't know if it's an injury. I don't know if it's chemistry problems. I don't know what it is. He still had over 1,000 receiving yards, but critical plays this year, even he would tell you that he has to improve on that. And I still think he's one of the greatest Bucs in Bucs history. And he's a Hall of Famer. But I agree with you on that. It hasn't necessarily been there consistently. Why isn't Nacho a starter when he's always makes plays as a substitute? He played well this year. They wanted to go with Akeem Hicks. They wanted to go with Vita Vea. But when Nacho got the opportunity, he played well. But they felt like going with Akeem Hicks. But this defense definitely let down tonight. Because we talked about one of the factors. When those guys are in the game together, they're usually only averaging 89 yards. The team is in rushing. This team got over 100 yards tonight. Unacceptable. Too bad Devin White isn't bigger guy to be a defensive end because all he seems to be good at is blitzing. He definitely has a knack for that. Football is a brutal sport. Don't feed into this devilish sport and pray for the mental and bodily health of players because the NFL will take care of them. God, please help these young men. Thank you very much, Chaz. Imagine Andy Reid coaching this team. Let's trade for him. I don't think the Chiefs are willing to trade for him, but I know Sean Payton was coming on or went on Colin Cowherd today and said the Saints could be looking for a mid-round first pick. Just saying. I don't know if the Saints are going to trade him to the Bucs. I don't know if the Bucs are interested in him. But there was talk about it. There's plenty of teams that are interested in Sean Payton. I'm just not sure if the Saints are going to let him go to Tampa Bay, a hated rival, or even let him go to Carolina, which has been mentioned. There's only so much money to spend in the cap. Frank, throwing out wild names. Should Todd get fired? What are your thoughts on Sean Payton or Eric Bieniemy as replacements? Thank you, Peter. Absolutely. I think anything and everything is on the table. Bieniemy has been interviewing for jobs the last couple of years. Don't understand why he hasn't gotten one yet. I guess he's not good at interviews, but, proof is in the pudding. The body of work is there, right? What he's done with Patrick Mahomes consistently. People will say, well, that's Patrick Mahomes, so maybe he's not good. Well, you got to give the guy the opportunity to see what he can do. So, offensive coordinator, I don't think he makes a lateral move. I don't think he makes a lateral move to the Bucs. I think he's looking for a head coaching move. Sean Payton, I've already discussed that. Dave Hall and Joe Tryon are 4th-round picks, not good. Well, Hall was a 2nd-round pick. Joe Tryon, Shayanka was a 1st-round pick. And JTS showed flashes of brilliance, but once again, he needs to finish. He needs to be more consistent, especially when you're getting rid of a JPP. He's got to do a better job of getting to the quarterback consistently, and he wasn't able to do that enough this year. Hall made some plays. He's a rookie. It's tough to get production out of defensive linemen when they're rookies. It just doesn't happen. Fred, JTS is trash. They push him on the outside every play. Fred again can't play off the wide receivers 8 to 10 yards on every play. Agree with that.
Yeah.
Let's go out to Tristan Brady's experience with the Winston effect minus the turnovers. Well, with the offensive line, agree with that because the offensive line was pretty bad this year. A Lamborghini got turned into a Ford Pinto. And how many times did the fuel tank explode? Many times. Joey D, Brady looked terrible. Once again, we are outcoached. This time by a terrible Mike McCarthy. Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich are by far the worst coaches in the league. You know I'm right. We probably won't see a playoff game for another 15 years. I'm not ready to say that yet. Let's be optimistic. Let's keep things in perspective. Although it has happened in the past, right? But let's have faith that Jason Light and the Glazers will make the right decisions here going forward for this team, whatever they may be. And we'll have them here live on the Sports Web, the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Happy to get another season in the books with you, Peter. Let's get ready for next season. Appreciate you. Keep up the great work. Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Joey Deeb, you could not possibly be less creative on offense. Everything is predictable. You know how bad you have to make Tom Brady look like a terrible quarterback. Great comment.
How about them Bucs, baby?
We may have to eliminate that if he gets fired, although I still like the sound effects. I do. Maybe Brady at 45 has gotten old on the job. Maybe. He was never a mobile quarterback. We saw it this year, whether it was pressure in his face or he gets the time, he's not as accurate down the field. He's not. Jeremiah says, everyone, and I'm right. Well, keeping Bowles sure isn't the right decision. We'll see what decisions are going to be made, but the latest reports suggest from Scott Reynolds, a Pewter report, that Byron Leftwich will be fired here in the next couple of days. So we'll have that update for you live on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. At the end of the day, the Bucs lose 31-14. We'll definitely be back on Wednesday night. Once again, if there is some breaking news, definitely tune in, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube, like and subscribe to I Love St. Pete, The Hub, and Amped Up Sports, and do three things, Bucs fans. As I know you're disappointed, I'm disappointed too, but we'll be back on Wednesday night with Miss Kelsey Nicole Nelson breaking down this Brady loss, and also some other guests, Mitchell Renz of Chat Sports, talking about the Raiders situation. Lots of rumors swirling about the Raiders and Tom Brady, so we'll get the latest, and once again, we'll take your calls on what this season has meant to you, what the Bucs should do, and what the Bucs are going to do going forward. Three things. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And Bucs fans on the Sports Web, it's always your time. Have a great night. Even though the Bucs are out, we'll be back on Wednesday night on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Have a good night.